Hi guys, welcome to part 3 of the Chakras, religion and modern culture. I'd like to ask a question. Is God, or the divine, whatever name you choose to call it, is it within? Something to consider maybe. Maybe if and when we can imagine ourselves to start working with the energy centers in our bodies, which are the chakras, we will be able to find the actual answer to that question. Okay, so back to the topic of religion. We shouldn't look at religion or its holy books as something bad and not beneficial for us. If anything, we should look at it, or look at the books themselves as guides through our journey here. And whilst we look in the books, do a critical analysis of the scriptures and not dismiss it based on what like mainstream science, even the TV, the education system tells us, or even what religious people tell us, like the priests, the sheikhs and so forth. You know what I mean? Do your own research into the findings of the writings from all scriptures. That's a good place to start. Me personally, I do yoga and have studied the science of yoga. And yoga actually means to have a union or yoke. And according to the scriptures, Jesus said, "Come unto me, and all ye that labour and are heavy laden, and I will give you the rest. Take my yoke upon you, and learn of me. For I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light." And that's in Matthew 11, verse 28 to 30. He spoke of yoga when he said this. "Take my yoke upon you and learn of me," he said. What's a yoke? A yoke is a wooden bar or frame by which two oxen, they're like cow-like animals, are joined at the heads and necks for working together. So yoga joins man and God, basically. I'll do another video on the topic of yoga another time. But for this, we're going to be dealing with the chakras and modern culture and religion. When you check out the term Jesus, you will see that it means salvation, or to be redeemed, or he who saves. We could ask the question again. Is that what we're here for? To redeem ourselves? Or are we going to wait for some bloke to come out the sky and say, "Hey, I'm here to save you"? We can save ourselves, I believe. It is possible. We need not wait for someone or something outside of ourselves to come and save us. Why? I believe working with the chakras, which we all have, is the way to go, really. That's in my opinion, from my personal study. I truly believe we are the ones that we've been waiting for. And because we look outside of ourselves, we rely on others or something else to save us. Whether that be some sky daddy, the government, or whoever else we choose to place our trust in. I personally place my trust in no one outside of myself. We tend to live our lives based on the ideals of popular culture, whether you are black or white, or whatever racial preference we choose to call ourselves. The bottom line is we're here to become Christ-like, to love. I know that may sound a bit radical to most people, but you know, to be Christ-like is to love, to be in peace, to give, to care, and not just each other, but for the natural world as well, the earth. And in my observation, unfortunately, I don't see that many people are really doing this, whether they be Christians, atheists, Muslims, Hindus, or whatever label you want to choose to classify yourself as. In Matthew 11, as I said earlier, 28 to 30, Jesus, the Redeemer, or he who saves, urges us to join him in Christhood. He asked for us to learn of him. He said, "I am meek and lowly in heart." The result of this is that we will find peace and we would come from our souls. rather than the ego, which simply means easing God out. I believe there is real peace in our true being, that of our soul. And in this journey of self-discovery, this journey of self-realization, or enlightenment, or whatever one chooses to call it, this is the point of returning back to Godhead, or to be one with God, Christ. The top of the head is where the Qu'ran chakra is situated, and also where the third eye is located, in the pituitary and pineal glands. That's the seventh and the sixth chakra. Then you've got the fifth chakra, we're working down here, which is the thyroid gland, which is the transitional center. The heart, which is the fourth chakra. The thymus gland is the center of our feelings and the doorway to the soul. I bet you're wondering why I'm saying the glands here. It's because actually the chakras are connected to your endocrine system. But I'll go into that more later, okay? Okay, let's get back into modern day culture. It's built on the survival of the fittest mentality. It has a competitive meaning to it. You see, we're constantly competing with each other, whether consciously or unconsciously. That takes away our true peace. Even when you look at the term race, as in colour, why do we call it race in the first place? Are we in some sort of competition? Anyway, we're always looking for that bit of peace, aren't we? But in my opinion, we do go about it the wrong way, because we've been taught that, you know, after a hectic day at work or with the kids, we come back home from being at work, or we'd go to the pub, we have a drink, we sit in front of the weapon of mass deception for a bit of peace, or family time. I mean, most people do that, actually, you know. I used to do it. Sit in front of the television, family time for a bit of peace. I mean, think about it. You know, there's hardly communication going on there, is there? Yeah, but, you know, I'm not saying that every household does this anyway. You know, it's just what I've observed, you know, and what I hear on a day-to-day basis. So we don't give ourselves enough genuine time to attain peace, in my opinion, anyway. And watching the idiot box isn't the way to attaining real peace. Neither is getting drunk or taking drugs or, you know, many other modalities or activities, I should say, which meaning programmers, the parasites, the guys who control things from behind the curtain, like Wizard of Oz. Because we use like getting drunk and taking drugs and watching the TV as excuses to escape and to indulge in activities, to escape from our true selves, our true reality. It's not something that we really want to face, is it? I believe the study of self is an important aspect of attaining Christ consciousness. Our ancestors left in stone, to know thyself. That must be something which we should look into a bit further. But also the study of the world, and also the obstacles to stopping people from doing self-study, because that's important. Why are we not doing enough self-study? This is an integral part of our growth, I believe. And if we want to see a future which is bright, authentic, one without tyranny and more deception, more lies, then I believe it's time for us to really get to know ourselves, because we are constantly relying on outside entities to liberate us. That's why they've given us religion to a certain degree. That's if I know that some religious people have actually worked it out, but, you know, not all. And I'm not saying that I have the answers neither, but, you know, if you really contemplate this, you know, we are waiting for some sort of entity to come and save us. Whether it's coming from the government, as I said earlier, or some spaceship, or some guy to come out of the sky. We are actually subconsciously waiting for it. So nobody can liberate you but yourself. So getting to know the self is key. It's a vital element, I believe. And one way we can do this is by actually working with the chakras. And the chakras are the energy centers in our body, which each and every one of us have. Every one of us. But we're not taught this in schools, are we? I don't really want to keep going on about these parasites, the psychopaths, the vultures, because it is about getting to know thyself. But as I said, taking a look at who's in control and why they're doing it is also very important. These people know your birthright, that they know a lot of this information, and their job is basically to keep you away from acquiring it. Because just imagine the majority of people being so-called enlightened, getting to that point of self-realization. Just imagine it. We'd have no need for them anymore, would we really? So, I mean, why would they want to tell us? It's up to us. So, I mean, their job is really about keeping us away from waking up, really. So, as I said, it is up to us. They keep us, you, whichever, in lockdown, and we escape with substances such as alcohol, drugs, TV, as I said earlier, so they can make more money from our misery, feeding us entertainment and keeping us busy with work and other non-soul profiting activities. They're keeping us in the lower chakras, the lower chakra regions, which are your base chakra, your first chakra, your root chakra, your second chakra, which is your sacral chakra, and your third chakra, which is your solar plex, which are power, sex, and survival, the material level, the physical level. They keep us here so we don't ascend to the higher realms, the realm of love, via the heart chakra. Going back into the religious aspect here, on the cross, Jesus, which means he who saves, don't forget, was crucified. In Christianity, they say he died to save our sins. I think it was in Acts where it actually said he was hung on a tree also. So something else to look into maybe. They say he died to save our sins. Well, these sins are the sins of the lower desires, aren't they? One would imagine. Power, sex, and survival. Competitiveness. Our out of so-called wedlock and promiscuous behaviour and so forth. And that urge or that desire to want to control someone or something, even in relationships. I mean, the topic of love even is another topic we can talk about, because I think love is misunderstood today. A lot of us, I see love as possession, but we can talk about that another time. Okay, so where were we now? Talking about Christianity in it, and how Jesus died to save our sins. Well, these sins are the sins of the lower desires, as I said, the first three chakras: power, sex, and survival. Symbolically, he died, or he was crucified. He crucified his lower desires because he loved us, the heart chakra. So the point of crucifixion could be at the heart, where he then ascended to the higher realms, and 3 days later he resurrected. That also may be symbolic to the three higher centers, the three higher chakras, from the heart up, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. Please note, I said maybe. Maybe something to look into. Chakra means wheel in Sanskrit, and they are the powerhouse of our energy system. The chakras influence everything in our life, from health, money, to our relationships. That's something to consider. And there's many quotes in the Bible which you could say maybe associated with the chakras here. Let's go to Ezekiel. Ezekiel 1, verse 19. When the living creatures moved, the wheels beside them moved. Remember when I said the chakra means wheel in Sanskrit? And when the living creatures rose from the ground, the wheels also rose. Ezekiel 1 again. Next verse, 20. Wherever the spirit would go, they would go, and the wheels would rise along with them, because the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels. 21. When the creatures moved, they also moved. When the creatures stood still, they also stood still. And when the creatures rose from the ground, the wheels rose along with them, because the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels. And again, Daniel 7, verse 9. As I looked, thrones were set in place, and the Ancient of Days took his seat. His clothing was as white as snow, the hair of his head was white like wool. His throne was flaming with fire, and its wheels were all ablaze. We can go to Revelations 1, verse 20, yeah? The mystery of the 7 stars that you saw in my right hand and of the 7 golden lampstands is this. The 7 stars are the angels of the 7 churches, and the 7 lampstands are the 7 churches. So what do you reckon? Is it somehow connected to the chakras maybe? I'll leave it for you guys to discern for yourselves, but discern indeed and do your research into it. It's very interesting stuff, So, I mean, the Bible and these scriptures are telling us something which we have to discern for ourselves, because if we wait for somebody else to work it out for us, then you're putting your trust in somebody else, really. So, my advice to each and every one is to, meditate on it, read them. Don't throw it out with the dirty bathwater, as I've said before. Read them, analyze them. Basically, they're books of metaphysics and science, real science. And science means to know. That's all science means, is to know. We've just got to get back to knowing ourselves. And as I said earlier, one way we can do this is by working with the energy centers in our bodies, which we call the chakras. Thank you for listening and watching. Check out the next part, please. I'm going to go further into each chakra, probably not in the next part, but in the part after that one, into each chakra and their roles, how we can help heal ourselves, basically, and help heal our energy centers, help heal our glands, our organs, and so forth. This is the key. Know thyself. Thank you for listening, as I said, and thank you for watching. And check out the next parts, which will be part 4. Yeah? All right. Yep. Love and balance.